I have partnered up with Alois to make a brand new Mordekaiser and Garen guide on the Summoner School website. I gave out every single piece of information that I thought was relevant to both champions and everything that I use personally. It explains how you should play in the mid to late game, itemization, champion matchups, and more. Each guide also has a unique matchup spreadsheet. If you want to check either guide out, you can use my link in the video description. With all that being said, please enjoy this video.
The scoundrels will pay.
There isn't actually that much to showcase this game. This is because the enemy Varus had a mental breakdown after getting ganked a few times and dying. And normally I wouldn't even showcase a game like this. But I personally hate laning Varus top lane. I think it is a super oppressive and frustrating pick. So I wanted to showcase it anyway simply because it's Varus top lane and maybe some of you guys also want to see a Varus top lane get beaten. I have tried absolutely every single setup as Garen against Varus. I tried to go Doran's Blade with Conqueror and Ignite and try to be aggressive and kill him that way. I tried to play with Phase Rush and Doran's Shield and try to play it slowly, maybe going for Flash Ghost instead, and it still didn't matter. The best setup that I find into Varus is with Unsealed Spellbook and Flash Teleport. You take Spellbook specifically because no other Keystone rune will really help you here against Varus. Grasp doesn't do anything, Phase Rush doesn't help you escape, and Conqueror doesn't allow you to beat him in the 1v1. So instead you just take Spellbook, and that can allow you to get extra sustain in lane by taking something like a heal or exhaust for his burst or barrier for his burst. On top of that, because you take Unsealed Spellbook, you have Biscuit Delivery and Second Wind plus the Doran's Shield regen, so you will have way more healing. This lane is absolutely atrocious. If Varus hits level 6, he can straight up ulti you if you just charge at him. You can never trade into him, so he's just gonna poke you down, and if you try to fight him, he's gonna get always 2 combos off on you, because for some reason he has a cooldown refreshing mechanic for his basic abilities. So what Varus can do is use 2 attacks on you and get only 2 blight stacks, then he can press his ultimate on you, then he can use his E, then he can activate his W and charge his Q a bit, then he can use his E again, and then he can use another Q, meaning that you basically always have to tank 2 E's and 2 Q's. As long as he just weaves in attacks before every spell, the blight stacks will give him that spell reduction. That is absolutely vile and disgusting, especially because all of the damage is guaranteed if you get rooted. The only way you can maybe dodge one of them is if you time your W well enough to reduce the root duration of his ultimate. Varus can also go AD or AP. Most Varuses right now go for AP and go Dusk and Dawn and maybe Nashor's Tooth. If you play up against an AP Varus, rush Kanek Rookern. Forget about Stridebreaker until your second item, straight up rush Kanek Rookern. And then you might, just might be able to survive his burst. I hate this character so much, man. It's on the same level as Vayne, honestly, maybe even worse. If you can get a good matchup into Varus, you're gonna be fine. But if Varus counterpicks into you, you are completely doomed. It's unreal that his damage got buffed, man. The lane itself is not that hard. Anytime Malphite uses a Q, you can use your W to block it. You won't be able to block every single Q with your W, but it can help out a lot in reducing his poke if he maxes Q. But there is a chance Malphite maxes his E, and that can give him more wave clear, and it can make your attack speed drop down way more in the actual 1v1. The moment you get Rylai, the lane is essentially done for Malphite. There's not much he can do because you can just pull him in with your E, ulti him, and kill him. But he can actually use his ultimate to cancel yours, so keep that in mind. He can also use his ultimate to just disengage you very quickly. Other than that, there's not much to it. Just wait for your Rylai spike and then perma-freeze on your side of the lane and he can't farm up. He will always need someone to help him break the freeze, and then if someone actually does come to fight you, then you can ult one person and maybe trade 1-for-1. Or maybe you kill both. Just before dying, I started casting my Q and that was a mistake, because my Q has an actual wind-up animation. If I used my E, the claw hand would have come out instantly and then it would have pulled the Hecarim back into the tower, killing him. Here I want to set up a freeze, so what I do is walk past this tower and hold his wave behind his tower. This way my minion wave is going to crash into his tower, and this means that the moment I go back to the middle of the lane, the wave will be frozen on my side. So the Malphite will never be able to farm unless he walks up to fight me, and then I can kill him or force his ulti. The sound will return around level 5 or so. I messed up and there's no audio for the first few levels. This lane is actually not as tough as you'd expect. It's obviously not an easy lane, but it can be even worse. You always want to max your Q in this lane, and you want to make sure you charge at Vayne and get a good trade in with your E plus Q combo. If you can get one good trade, on the second one you can just flash on top of her head and kill her. The main issue is actually getting that very first trade, and this is why I like to take exhaust into a lot of ranged matchups as Volibear. You can activate the exhaust to slow down the opponent, and because I run Nimbus Cloak, it also means I get to speed myself up, on top of the damage reduction. So they might not expect me to run as fast and for them to be that slow. So then I can catch up to them, tag them with my Q, get the E down, and get a really nasty trade in the early game. And off of that one trade, you can maybe win the lane. What you can do into Vayne if you really want to is straight up rush Edge of Night. And this can allow you to ignore her Condemn fully. And this is because none of her other abilities proc down the spell shield. But if you want to, you can also rush something like Stridebreaker. Or even Hextech Rocket Belt isn't that bad of an option into her. If you want to play AP Volibear, you can go for a Rocket Belt rush. And if you want to play more AD Bruisery, you can do a Stridebreaker rush. This game I decided to go for Trinity Force. But I think Stridebreaker might have been better. Or again, just straight up rushing Edge of Night. Plated Steel Caps are also pretty good. If you can get them on your very first recall, that is huge. It's not the end of the world if you can't, but the amount of movement speed you get from them is really good, combined with the armor and the damage reduction from auto attacks. If she just pops her ultimate and maybe has a ghost as well, you're not gonna be able to catch up to her. So what you're gonna need to do is go into a brush and sit there until her ultimate times out. And if she also has a ghost, you also want to wait the ghost out. This is why the red trinket is really important, because if she tries to ward up a brush, you can use the red trinket and then she won't be able to see you anyway. And that way she's gonna need to fight you in melee range because she's gonna need to sit next to you in the brush to actually get vision of you. And then you can brawl her out. Here I end up rushing Boots of Swiftness, and the reason I go for them is simply because I have enough gold for the full boots. Plated Steel Caps are better into Vayne, but because I can get full Boots of Swiftness on my first recall, I go for them. The slow resist doesn't do anything into Vayne, but the extra movement speed is pretty good.
Rampage. An ally.
The storm! Graystrom consume you! The storm gathers, and I
has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Thank you guys for joining me in this video. I hope you found the information useful, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very soon.
I am favored by the gods and awaited in the Hall of Bones.